Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk. Stay tuned. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a special holiday presentation of Elena's Beauty Talk and More, sponsored by the Glendale Philharmonic. Your host for today's special holiday presentation is founder of the Glendale Philharmonic and world-renowned cellist, Mr. Ruslan Biryukov. Ruslan,
hey,
welcome to the show.
Hey guys, happy Thanksgiving. We are having a little bit of the kind of sad music going on, but we'll fix it. The music will go real happy in a few minutes, hopefully. So I'm Ruslan Biryukov. I'm the founder of Glendale Philharmonic. I'm Russian. I'm a cellist. I'm a musician. And we have a really interesting crowd here today. We have a conductor, Dean Anderson, and we have 3 more cellists in the studio. Yeah. So it's Mike Kaufman, it's Hans Galstein. I'm sorry, I also want to call it Goldsmith somehow. Galstein. And my student Nathan Lee. So I will let them all introduce it, themselves, each other, and then hopefully we'll have an interesting discussion about Thanksgiving, music, art, life, and etc.
etc. etc.
Okay, Dean, come on, you first.
Well, glad to be here. I am a conductor living in Los Angeles. I conduct several different groups. Also work with a lot of great musicians. I'm teaching at a university in Riverside, La Sierra University. And I'm just glad to be here today, to be with such gifted musicians. And I'm looking forward to chatting with you more.
Hi, my name is Michael Kaufman. I'm a cellist. I'm from Cleveland. This is my 5th year in Los Angeles. I've been studying at the USC Thornton School of Music for the last few years with Ralph Kirschbaum. And I'm here also with all of these cellists and this conductor. And this is my friend Hans, who's also been studying at USC.
Hi, guys. Again, just to get the name straight, my name is Hans Christian Goldstein. Yeah, clear it up there.
Forgive the poor Russian.
I'm a student at USC Thornton School and in the same studio as Michael Kaufman with Ralph Kirschbaum. This is my 2nd year master's, and I got to know Ruslan through Mike, and we're going to talk soon about some upcoming projects with the LA Cello Quartet, which is very exciting. Now, before going further, I'd like to introduce Nathan.
Come on, Nathan, go ahead.
Hi, my name's Nathan Lee. I am a student of Ruslan Biryukov, and I would like to talk about the Tchaikovsky competition, which I participated in over the summer.
Not just participated, you won it as well.
Yeah.
One big participation. Yeah. All right, so here we go. This is a cello crowd here. All right, guys, so look, I'm Russian, and of course tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Everyone happy Thanksgiving. Now, can you solve this mystery? And I was trying to make this research about Thanksgiving, about Turkey, and about, pardoning the Turkey by president. And what is Thanksgiving about? Can we tell to the entire world? Does anyone know? Here's a question for you guys.
Wow.
Uh-huh. And here we go.
You celebrate the birth of the turkey? Is that
Does anyone know?
Sleep and eating a lot. That's what I'm gonna do. So
Eating and then sleeping because the turkey makes you sleepy.
The turkey, and that's
It's got a chemical in it.
that makes you sleepy.
It's the turkey's way of getting back at you.
Okay, well, listen, I was trying to make a little research because, in fact, Russians don't have Thanksgiving, right? We don't have that kind of thing. So, of course, the first source I went to was Wikipedia. And Wikipedia says nothing about, that turkey is required. Wikipedia just says that I'll tell you, apparently it came from English tradition. And days of Thanksgiving and special thanking religious services became important during the English Reformation in the reign of Henry VIII. That's what Wikipedia says. Apparently, English people in the years before 1536 had more than 95 church holidays. So 1/3 of the year, the entire England was pretty much doing nothing except of just celebrating. So Henry VIII came and said, you know what, it's a little bit too much. So he cut it to 27 days, 1/3. And apparently this Thanksgiving tradition appeared when all the people were thanking gods and, at that time already one god, right, for the harvest. For successful harvest. I'm not sure what was happening if the harvest was unsuccessful. But again, there is no turkey. It's just
We always learned about Thanksgiving about the Native Americans bringing food to the pilgrims after they landed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was more about what they had, I think. Their harvest.
So I think the pilgrims were thankful. I don't know how much Native Americans. We took their food.
Okay, there is no in the description of Thanksgiving tradition. There is nothing said about Indians. There is- okay.
Is this the right Wikipedia page? Are we sure?
I don't know. That's what the Google spit on me.
It's a conspiracy.
I don't know.
Alright.
So apparently, the first Thanksgiving is traced to 1621 celebration at Plymouth
Rock.
Plymouth
Yes.
in present-day Massachusetts. So it was Massachusetts where it appeared. In 1625, technically promoted by Good Harvest. It also was tied to the Good Harvest. Okay, I'm just reading real quick, trying to find anything about Turkey. Cannot find anything. And apparently, it became a tradition after George Washington, the president, who gave this first speech, thanking for the harvest and everything, and actually set it as a national holiday. And after that, appeared the tradition of pardoning Turkey.
Aha.
It's an interesting fact that Abraham Lincoln wanted the national bird to be turkey.
Oh, really?
And so possibly at that point we weren't eating turkey the same way. I don't know.
Oh, really?
But it wasn't in favor. It's not the turkey that we're thinking about now, the big turkey. It's the wild turkey.
Oh, I see.
Which I also hear is the national drink of that area as well.
Oh, really?
Just kidding.
Which actually reminds me, we will be doing a vodka tasting party with Glendale Philharmonic.
Celebrate Russian style, yes?
Yeah, Nathan is young. He's underage, so close your ears right now. That's gonna happen on the 3rd weekend of month of February, actually. We don't know location yet, but most probably it will be in Silver Lake. But we're already selling tickets for it. And we already have one ticket sold, as a matter of fact.
I just have to ask about vodka tasting. Is it harder and harder as the night goes on to tell the differences between the vodkas?
Yeah, usually after the 3rd shot,
Right.
you kind of don't really care what you drink as long as you know a kid. Our vodka tastings are actually pretty sophisticated, man. And in fact, non-drinkers come on the tastings as well. It includes
non-drinkers. Do you have unalcoholic vodka? Non-drink.
They don't have this word in Russian today. Non-alcoholic.
No, they just
we don't
don't.
have this word.
Well, look, in Russia, vodka considered a table wine. So, what do you expect? In 1907, 90% of alcohol sold on territory of Russia was vodkas. Right now, it's 70%. So, come on. It's,
Makes sense.
So there will be a concert. There will be the actual tasting with real Russian food. We will serve 3 drinks to each guest, whether they will like it or not, whether they will drink it or not, but they will get their free drinks, and after that they're on their own. So it's most probably going to be Saturday, third or fourth Saturday of month of February. All right. So, guys,
I want to jump in real quick.
All right.
Hi, it's Richard Carr, moderator for today's special holiday presentation presented by Elena's Beauty Talk and More and sponsored by the Glendale Philharmonic of Glendale, California. We have world-renowned cellist and founder of the Glendale Phil, Ruslan Berikov, and a virtual encyclopedia of classical music and cello playing and some real champions on the dais today. But I wanted to take a moment out just to acknowledge Elena for providing us with this time. This, again, is a very special presentation sponsored by the Glendale Philharmonic. And I did have one question. May have missed it as I stepped out the room to address a guest. What do you do around Thanksgiving in Russia? Is that when the vodka tasting ceremonies happen each year? And how long has that been going on exactly?
Well, that's what I started with, because we don't actually have Thanksgiving.
I know
in
that,
Russia,
yeah.
You know, we don't thank God for the good harvest. There is just no good harvest in Russia, I guess. You know.
Well, where does the vodka come from then? That sounds like a good harvest to me.
That's when the vodka comes
There
in,
we go, okay.
and everyone feels happy. So yeah, Russians work.
Just walk right by the holiday, don't even acknowledge it.
Russians work. During Thanksgiving, we work.
Right.
During the Independence Day, we work.
Okay. Excellent.
But during Christmas time, our holidays start, I think, on December 24th. Those are official holidays, starting on December 24th, and they extend all the way to December 13th or 14th, actually.
And what do you call that holiday?
New Year.
Okay.
It's a
Not Christmas.
Okay, Russian Christmas.
Because Saint Nick doesn't fly that far overseas, does he? Yeah. The reindeers don't go that far anymore.
Yeah, well, here's what's happening.
What do you call it? What do you call Christmas?
Okay, no, we have Christmas. It's on January 7th.
How in the world did Christmas, of all holidays, become a Russian holiday? I don't get that at all.
I don't know, because we are Christians, I guess.
Okay, all right.
Orthodox
Right,
Christians.
okay. That would make sense if Santa Claus and Jesus Christ were the same people.
Yeah, but we have our own Santa Claus.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, we call him the exact translation will be something like cold grandfather. So we start with the worldwide celebrated Christmas on 25th of December.
Fascinating.
Then the thing is that it's so cold in Russia at that period of time that we gradually roll into New Year's Eve, December 31st. Nobody wants to work. It's really minus 20, minus 30, minus 40 Celsius sometimes. Then we have Russian Christmas, which is on January 7th. So by the time when everyone has recuperated from New Year's Eve and sobered up, we have our Christmas. And then we have old style New Year Eve, which is on January 13th. That's why pretty much the entire country for those 2 weeks. So if someone wants to invade Russia, this
Good
is
time.
This is the month. Yeah. Well, the truth to be told, French tried, Germans tried. It didn't work out.
Yeah, I get the idea that probably in battle against a bunch of drunken Russians is probably not a good idea. You might not come out as healthy as you did when you went in.
Also, it's very cold.
That too. I just want to. I'm going to leave it to you guys. I just want to thank Elena of Elena's Beauty Talk and More one more time for providing this time as a special presentation of LA Talk Live, the Talk Live Broadcast Network, Elena's Beauty Talk and More, and sponsored by Ruslan Berikov and the Glendale Philharmonic. So a round of applause for Elena.
Hey.
She is healthy and well. She's actually traveling. She'll be back, of course, as always, next week. So, Elena, we love you. We miss you. But we're going to hold it down as best we can.
Yay.
All right, so now I got that out the way. Let's break out some vodka. What do you say? Dang, man.
All right. You know what?
Nathan.
What I wanted to say. The phone number here in the studio,
Yes.
right? That's working. So it's 323-473-3100. Is that correct?
That
number?
is correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And
one
it's up
second.
on the screen. It'll come up on the screen.
Oh,
momentarily.
excellent. So anyone who wants to ask us any questions, please feel free, whether it's about Turkey, vodka, or music. 323-473-3100. Okay.
And the first 100 callers get an invitation to the vodka tasting.
For free, yes.
For free, a free invitation.
All right. Well, since we are talking vodkas and Russia and everything, Nathan, why don't you tell us about your Russian experience? Have you been in Russia during winter time?
Never before.
But you've been.
Nathan, get closer to that mic. You can adjust it and get it right in front of your mouth there.
We want to
there we
hear
go.
you. So, but you've been in St. Petersburg and you've been in Moscow, right?
Yes.
So what did you do in St. Petersburg?
I performed twice there.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I performed the Haydn Cello Concerto Number 1.
Oh, that one I will be playing it on January 10th with Glendale Phil. Here we go. All right, and what was the next one?
The second time I went during the spring and I played the Cezanne Cello Concerto Number 1.
That's wonderful. And then you went third time.
Yes.
And where were you the third time?
I went to Moscow for the Tchaikovsky International Competition for Young Musicians.
Uh-huh. So how was it?
It was fun, but it was very intense.
Mhm.
I was practicing all day long. Pretty
So-
much.
So were you practicing prior to competition?
Yes.
How much do you practice?
Because just wanted to get everything down.
But what's your regular practice schedule? Do you practice a lot? I mean, you won a number of competitions, right? Tchaikovsky competition is not the only one you won.
Yeah.
So what's your practice habit? What's your practice, routine? Do you spend like 20 hours every day playing cello? All the neighbors complain, call the cops, all that thing? Or we're in a little bit better environment?
I usually practice 3 to 6 hours, and I close the windows so the neighbors don't hear it at night.
Sorry to jump in real quick. Have you asked him how old he is?
How old are
Okay.
you, by the way? Yes.
I'm 14 years old.
14 years old.
Amazing.
Yeah, isn't it?
14.
Yeah. No, he already has a Tchaikovsky competition in his pocket.
Amazing.
Can I comment too, Ruslan, if I may, before you go any further, that when you said you had a lot of conductors and cellists coming through, I was totally confused when I saw all these young rock and rollers walking through the door, because you look like what you got here is like a rock and roll band, and this guy down here, I tell you, man.
That's right. We're about to ready to release our record.
I love it. It's very unique that you have such young people
Yep.
engaged in the classic music arts. That's
Well,
fascinating.
There are a lot of young people in classical music,
Yeah,
actually.
you brought a lot of them through, and I know you're an instructor as well. But again, these are
Yep.
such accomplished people at such
Yeah.
young ages, as young as Nathan at 14. Amazing.
But truth to be told, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Usually, in classical music, musicians really achieve that worldwide recognition when we are already, in the third part of our lives, right? If we manage to survive that long. Composers, on the other hand, not as lucky. Yeah, many of them die.
from drinking.
I don't know. When you think of it, yes. But I just thought it would be kind of fun to bring younger generation in the studio and see what the youngsters have to say. Particularly, four of us. You went to USC, right?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you didn't?
I'm finishing at UCLA.
Oh my God!
doctorate, yes.
And
God.
three
I
of
know.
us.
I
are
know, I know.
I didn't want to announce that here with two USC people here.
See, I knew there'd be violence. See, a fight's about to break up right now. UCLA?
No, we're USC.
All right, okay. You're UCLA.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, there's a fight.
I went
about
to
break
USC
That
up.
as
explains
well,
the
so-
somber look here from the game last week.
If I
Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Wow.
if I'd known you went to UCLA.
You wouldn't have invited me here?
Okay, Nathan. So, what's your future plans?
I really want to become a professional soloist.
A professional soloist. Well,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. That's remarkable. So, well, you have a few more years to go, before you get into the school. What school are you thinking about? Do you have any idea where you will,
Possibly USC, UCLA, Peabody.
What- What about Juilliard School? What
Uh,
about Colburn Conservatory?
I was gonna-
Aren't you in Colburn right now?
Yeah, I'm in the Young Artist Academy.
Here we go.
Nice.
Oh, that's wonderful. Why? Listen, can we play some of his recordings today? Because there are two wonderful recordings of Nathan. Should we play them now? Or yeah? Okay, great. So let's listen for Nathan right now. Are we there? Oh yeah. So this is Nathan Lee playing. This is Paganini, famous Moses Variations, and believe it or not, all of it is played on one string only. So
It's true.
Yay! Here we go. Cellist sitting here will confirm it's not the simplest piece to play, right?
Definitely not. I'm very impressed. I just heard him now for the first time. This is incredible.
Here we go, Nathan.
Very musical.
Congratulations.
Amazing.
It's
very mature.
It's pretty great. Yeah.
So when did you make this recording?
I made this recording over the summer at
Mhm.
a music camp.
I see. Oh, that's wonderful. Did you play this piece at Tchaikovsky competition as well?
Yeah. I played it in the first round of the Tchaikovsky competition.
So there were 3 rounds of the competition, right?
Yes.
Okay. And the first round was solo, second round also kind of solo with the pianist, and the third round with the orchestra.
Yes.
So I wonder, when you were going there, when you were actually sitting in the airplane on the flight to Moscow, what were you thinking about? How did you feel? Or did you have this feeling that, yes, I'm going to win it? Or you're like, okay, I'm going to just try it and see how it goes? And what was the mood? What was the...
Well, I was trying to be optimistic with myself, like encouraging myself in my head. And also I was studying the scores of the pieces I was going to play.
So what goes through your head when you're studying a score?
Like the phrasing, how
Mhm.
the chords transition to different different ideas.
Mm-hmm. Can you kind of describe, like, what is it like to practice on a plane when you don't have your cello for so many hours?
I just like run through the music in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah.
But you compose as well, don't you?
Yes.
What was your largest piece that you composed?
2 years ago I composed a symphony, and
Wow.
That's crazy, you know, that I haven't composed any symphonies in my life.
Yeah, me neither.
How old was Mozart when he composed his first symphony? Do you know by chance?
No.
It was 6, I think.
6?
Yeah,
But at that
5 or
time,
6.
you know, symphonies at that time and now,
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, our orchestra will be playing first Mozart symphony on our January 10th concert. By the way, everyone, Glendale Philharmonic is doing holiday, our annual holiday party. Everything with Glendale Philharmonic is just
It's
one
one
long
big
party.
party.
Yeah. It's our holiday concert and party. It's on Saturday, on January 10th at 7 p.m. At the First Baptist Church of Glendale. Tickets are already on sale. Please check our website, glendalephil.com, or just Google Glendale Philharmonic, or Google my website, celloart.com, or Google my name, if you know how to spell it. And yeah, we'll be doing Mozart's first symphony. And then I will be playing Haydn C Major Concerto.
Yes.
So yeah, please. And then another piece on the program is Appalachian Spring by Copland.
Ursan, will you be having a conductor?
Probably.
Probably.
Yes. Yes. Which leads us.
Probably.
Yeah. No, Frank Feta will be the conductor. Yeah. Frank Feta will be the conductor. Rich Caparella, who is, by the way, announcer from KUSC, will be the master of ceremonies. So it's going to be a great event. Billy's Deli is bringing free cake for everyone in the hall.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, can do
Cake.
that. Now, speaking about the conductors, actually, and the orchestras, because, you know, I know that, Mike, you've done this piece, Appalachian Spring, without a conductor, right?
Yeah, in fact, just this last weekend, my new conductorless chamber orchestra called the Kaleidoscope Chamber Orchestra just had its first 2 concerts. We played Beethoven's 7 and Appalachian Spring, which was actually quite difficult. I mean, there were actually 40 people on stage, including percussionists, harp, piano, tons of winds, and to put a piece like that together without a conductor is quite hard.
Did you guys have to rehearse a lot? I'm sorry.
We had 6 3-hour rehearsals as a full orchestra,
Mhm.
and but you know, we had to split the time between both pieces, so that was quite a lot of work.
What's the function of the Canadian? This is a question for you. How do you see your function in the orchestra? Because orchestra is a big body, it's a big entity, it's a social environment essentially.
Mhm.
People with a lot of egos are sitting there.
True.
You know, so how do you feel when you get on the, you know?
Well, I mean, a lot of conductors have different views on this. My personal view is for the conductor to facilitate the music by unifying the group. I view the conductor's role as a more collaborative one, as opposed to other views where it's more like a dictator or authoritative, my way only. I believe when you're in front of a group of excellent musicians that they have a lot to offer in terms of their concept, and the decision for the conductor is to decide. He's always conscious of the time that he has, the end goal, and to offer his vision to the orchestra. And hopefully the orchestra likes it. Sometimes they don't, and you just have to kind of, do what's best.
So for me, this is an interesting transition because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think somewhere in 20th century, midst of 20th century, with conductors like Marvinsky, Karajan, for instance, Giulini, those people were more of the dictators.
Yes.
In fact, I spoke with musicians who played in Berlin Philharmonic, and they were saying that whenever Karajan would appear, they would feel almost terrifying kind of feeling. It was immediate. As soon as Karajan would step into the building, there would be these people running and say, Karajan in the building, Karajan in the building, and they all would, have this almost, scary moment. Oh, is that Karajan? Oh, yeah.
He's listening.
He's been dead, and I still get scared.
From the grave.
And it looks like nowadays, conductors more become, in fact, kind of friendlier, more accessible, more, collaborative, perform more. Is that right? Or is there still conductors that really,
I still think there are conductors that I think subscribe to the kind of more the old-fashioned approach to it. But I think nowadays, especially since conductors seem to be getting younger and younger when they get in front of professional orchestras, I think that the mindset is changing to one, hopefully, that is more respectful to the orchestra. Although the orchestra still wants their conductor, whoever it is, to be very decisive with his artistic vision and to not, not fool around or waste too much time. So,
but not in the Kaleidoscope Orchestra that was just formed in Los
That's true.
Angeles.
I mean, but I have to say, I really like your philosophy on conducting. I think this is definitely a better situation for everybody in the orchestra when they're feeling like the conductor is really there to help. What was cool about doing without a conductor, though, is that everybody actually needs to study the score themselves. You really have to know everybody else's part. I did a lot more work for these pieces than I think I ever have when playing an orchestra, just because, my voice had to be heard.
And on this moment, let's cut your voice for a while because Richard said that we have to get on the break. We have commercial break right now. And the piece that's played right now, it's Glendale Philharmonic doing Maxim Rubtsov double cello concerto, actually. So listen for it, then break, and I will come back and we'll talk about voices.
Sounds good.
You're listening to a very special holiday presentation presented by Elena's Beauty Talk and More and the Glendale Philharmonic. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks. Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk. Stay tuned.
Hubert's Lemonade, tasty, refreshing, sweet, and tart. Happiness in a bottle. Visit Hubert's Lemonade at hubertslemonade.com. Once again, that's hubertslemonade.com. Happiness in a bottle. Xavier Tees and Tots, groundbreaking fashion, forward street smart designs. Tees and Tots for men, women, and boys. Visit XavierUSA.com. Once again, that's XavierUSA.com.
Hi, this is Starlet Quarles, and I'm inviting you to join us every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. for a new show right here on LA Talk Live, The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People. Join us as we discuss the topics that are relevant to today's generational leaders. So don't forget to tune in to The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Dick and Sharon, inviting you to join us every Monday at 3 Pacific for LA Progressive Live.
Join us as we cover the progressive landscape both locally and across the nation.
So don't forget to tune in to LA Progressive Live every Monday at 3 Pacific.
Exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Radio Flag, TuneIn Radio, Live 365, AHA Radio, TiVo Radio, and Apple TV Radio.
Or just watch and listen directly at latalklive.com and LA Progressive Live. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure.
This is LA Talk Live and LA Progressive Live. We are more than just talk.
Hi, we are back. This was Mike Kaufman playing with an unknown clarinetist.
Yeah, so this was me and the clarinetist is Ben Mitchell. I thought this was a good connection because he's actually the guy who founded the Kaleidoscope Chamber Orchestra that we were just talking about, this new conductorless chamber orchestra in LA. So he's an awesome bass clarinetist as well as normal clarinetist, as you can imagine. But this piece is a lot of fun to play. It's a little crazy, but
so who composed this piece?
This is by Kimmo Hakola, who's a Finnish composer, and it's the craziest thing to look at. The score is all handwritten, and it's on these 11.
So it hasn't been published.
It has been published, but it's a handwritten score. It's very hard to read.
It's published as a handwritten score.
That's right.
The composer handwrites it every single time.
Well, it's actually completely impossible to play when you get the music because it's on these big 11 by 17 these 11 by 17 pages.
Oh my god!
And you have 12 of them. So what are you supposed to set up 12 stands or something? It's ridiculous. So you have to find your own way to manage the score. But anyway, it was a lot of fun put together.
Listen, Dean, while we were on the break, you said that you founded a conductorless orchestra.
Yes, actually, it was one of my first projects when I was in grad school at the University of Missouri. We called ourselves the Chamber Soloists.
So he founded an orchestra and then he became a conductor.
Right.
It was conductorless orchestra. And then after that wonderful experience.
I think people just got. It was always a challenge, as you mentioned, to have the extra time to make sure that everyone was heard. And after several hours, we decided, some people just decide, okay, let's just do it this way for this time. And I think because of the time constraints, it became easier to conduct. But I was just learning how to conduct at that time, so but it was a very rewarding experience to be able to lead.
It sounds like it was an evolution in time, though. But you
Took that
found
long.
the need.
It's an there was a conductorless orchestra in Soviet Union in the beginning of 20th century. It actually existed for quite a while. I'm not sure if the recordings are available. It was called Persimphans. The orchestra was Persimphans. Was quite famous. I just, because I'm an executive director of an orchestra, and in our case, conductors are not a part of the boards. It's interesting, to see this dynamic of relationship of musicians with the conductor. How musicians sort of fell in love with the conductor, then there's always a moment when they hate the conductor, when there is a respect that they develop toward the conductor. So it's still somewhat a mystery for me. And many people ask me, why don't I conduct?
Yeah, why don't you conduct? Ruslan?
I just don't want to be in those shoes, to be honest. I think it's a really tough job, actually. It's
It
not
is.
easy at all.
So do you have different conductors for Glendale? Or
Yeah,
is
we
it usually
change them
the-
like gloves every concert,
Seriously?
No. We have two conductors right now.
Okay.
We have a founding conductor whose name is Mikhaila Vetisyan, and Frank Fett is our conductor for this season. But Vienna Philharmonic kind of rotates the conductors every year. The musicians of the orchestra vote, one or other conductor. They basically left with a choice. So when we are talking about conductor-less orchestras, to me it's like, why don't you just guys get together and vote for the conductor, and put there someone, and you still have a power to change the conductor.
That's the better scenario than somebody else choosing a conductor for you. That's
Correct.
For sure.
I think Berlin does that. Berlin
Really?
Philharmonic, I think
Do they?
the whole orchestra has to vote not only who joins the orchestra, but also I think who their conductor is.
But you see, nowadays, the role of the conductor is not just to conduct, but also largely to fundraise, to represent an orchestra, be sort of a face of an orchestra. There are a lot of additional duties and responsibilities that applied on the conductors,
Very true.
I think even 30, 40 years ago, it was not like that at all. So when the boards make these decisions, whom to choose, it is this symbiosis, it is this combination of this.
But it depends
factors.
on the level of the orchestra. Even regional ones, they do need that face. But I think in the top tier orchestras, I think the reason why they go through is they just need to keep the artistic vision fresh. And if you just stick with one conductor only, you're ready. You need to change it up.
True.
I think.
So is it painful for the conductors once the contract is not extended, or
Very painful. It depends on if he likes it or not, I guess. Yeah, you think about these great conductors that have great jobs with top orchestras, and you realize that their contracts are really only evaluated 3 to 5 years at a time. So you have to work really hard to make sure you're a good fit with the orchestra. Yeah.
Tough job. What would you do?
Yeah.
Plus, for me, conducting was somewhat a mysterious process also, because conductors per se don't have an instrument, right? Your instrument, it's this team of people that work for you. And with the gesture, with the language of gesture or mimic or whatever, with this dance that you guys do on the podium, you have to inspire these musicians and to move them in one or other way.
Right.
And I always thought it was like, it wasn't for me, that's for sure. I mean, I don't have that talent.
To be honest, I didn't think it was for me either at first. My dream was to be a violinist in an orchestra, and it was only until I saw the difference that a good conductor can make that I realized that they actually did something. And I'm sure you've experienced this if you worked with conductors of different levels. They do make a difference depending on how they interact, what their perception is of the orchestra, and how they can lead without forcing.
Just the appearance of I found that even the look of the conductor actually influences musicians considerably.
Right. Yes.
But there's a whole environment, the entourage. It's a really packaged deal, at least in our experience. That's what I witnessed. It's interesting. It's very.
I find it's really effective when I drive up to rehearsal in a Porsche.
Oh.
Just kidding.
Wow.
And then I have to give the Porsche back too.
Oh yeah, you just rented it. We drive our conductors in the limos.
Yes.
Those come with the free drinks. So.
That's right.
All right. Well, look, we aren't going to have Nathan here for entire time, so I want just to ask him a couple more questions. So Nathan, you practice from 3 to 6 hours every day, right? You have concerts, you have competitions, but is music your only focus, or is there something else that you're, interested in? Is there something else that you, spend your lifetime doing, or music is the only kind of, activity that you are focused on?
Well, I also have school, so that takes a lot of time too.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Because I was fearing this. No, I hate my school. So in the school, is it just a regular school, or what is it?
Yeah, it's just a regular school.
But I wonder, do you go to the museum? What kind of music do you listen for? What are your tastes? I'm pretty sure listeners of this talk show would feel curious, Sound like yourself, 13, 14 years of age. How do you develop this, talents? What do you listen for? What do you read? What's your, what do you eat? Are you going to eat turkey tomorrow?
I think so.
He's not sure. He's just thinks. Do you like turkey?
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Lee eats normal, same like all other people. There's no special diet, is there?
No.
No? Okay.
No special cello diet?
No
Or
special
cellist diet?
Do you know any vegetarian cellists?
Probably.
Probably. You know what I've noticed? Are there no vegan bass players?
I don't know
I don't
any
know if
vegetarian
any-
cellists either. Honestly, our instrument is pretty
Peter.
big.
Peter Myers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a vegetarian.
She is a vegetarian?
Yeah.
He is a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
So
he's
there's
an-
one. So there's
one
one.
in the entire world,
yes,
right?
Yes, at least. I hope he's listening.
All right. So, do you read any books? What's your Nathan? What's your interests? Do you go to museums? Do you go to rock concerts?
Usually I just stay home and do homework, practice.
He's just saying that his mom is in the back. He actually goes to rock concerts.
Oh, well. Shall we send the mother out?
She's enjoying this.
Do you have friends that are musicians as well? Yuri?
I go to the Colburn Academy, so I know a lot
Oh, you
of
do.
other young musicians as well.
Do you hang out sometime between rehearsals and practicing?
Yeah, usually.
What do you guys like to do for fun when you're not doing music?
Just walk around school randomly.
That's in downtown Los Angeles.
That's right. What's there to do downtown Los Angeles?
That's true.
Oh, well. All right. Well, back to our music stuff. So, Mike, Hans, and myself, we are playing together in LA Cello Quartet. Right?
That's right.
And ladies and gentlemen, please check our website, celloart.com. Or if you just Google LA Cello Quartet, you will find the information about our upcoming concerts. We are doing a concert on February 12th at L'Hermitage Concert Series at the Lux Hotel. It's Thursday, 8 p.m. It's invitations only. It's almost sold out, actually, but I think some invitations are still available. You can check L'Hermitage Foundation website as well. I think it's l'hermitage.org, O-R-G, or again, just Google L'Hermitage Foundation, L'Hermitage Concert Series. And more than welcome. We don't have the program yet, though, right? We haven't decided what we are going to play.
We have some ideas.
Well, we have some ideas. It probably will be a mix of contemporary, ultra-contemporary music and old music.
Can I ask something about the cello quartet?
Sure.
Like, as a group?
Yep.
I mean, because everybody knows about string quartets, but what is it about the cello quartet that makes it so special? How did that come about?
Well, look.
It's a great question.
Cellos just decide, look, we don't need those violins and violas anymore. Just we'll do it all.
Do you know how Glendale Philharmonic was? How did I found it, Glendale Philharmonic? You don't know?
I don't remember.
Daily News printed a cover story about it. I was drunk.
Oh yes, I remember.
It was one of our vodka tasting parties when someone
Genius.
exactly, someone said, let's do an orchestra, and I was so drunk at that moment. Said, okay, I know how to do it. I'll do it. I forgot. 3 days later, I got this phone call from our future concertmeister. She called and said, "So, are you coming to the meeting?" "What kind of meeting?" "Well, the orchestra. You're doing an orchestra." So, cello quartet it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was.
You weren't drunk.
I wasn't that drunk, let me put it this way. There were a few friends of mine, cellists. Hope Easton was one of those, as a matter of fact. And we just liked getting together and jamming. We'd get together, we'd get some music and just play. And then at a certain point, we accumulated a considerable repertoire. Then there was a arranger who kind of heard of us doing these little things at home just for fun. And he said, "You know what? I got these few pieces that I can arrange for you guys. Would you consider playing?" I said, "Sure." And then all of a sudden, I got a call from LA Philharmonic, one of the affiliates of LA Phil. They were asking for a performance. They needed to do a fundraiser. And they were asking, "Do you have something special?" I said, "Well," and I was in between phone calls, I think, at that moment. And I said, "You know what? Yeah, we had this cello quartet. Would you consider cello quartet?" "Yes, that's amazing. That's perfect. That's precisely what we need." That was the beginning of cello quartet, pretty much. That we did a concert in, I think it was Palos Verdes, which was exceedingly successful. Everyone absolutely loved it. Everyone loved this idea of 4 cellists, solists, sitting on the stage, talking to each other. We talk, actually, during like my concerts, I talk always, somehow. I'm not sure why. In fact, I had one concert. I went on the stage and started my regular speech. "Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Russian. My English isn't good enough. It's limited with California Driver's Handbook." All of a sudden, someone brought a little card with a question. People started asking questions, and I was talking for 2 hours. I forgot about time. At a certain point, I felt that someone was pulling my sleeve. It was my pianist who was showing the clock to us. So we just stood up, bowed, and said, "Well, that was pretty much our concert. Thank you very much," and we left.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So our concert of LA Cello Quartet was that. It was this moment where we just went on the stage. We said, we are a young group. We have these few pieces we're going to play for you. We talked about those pieces. People just went crazy. And then all of a sudden we got few more bookings. And then we actually developed a repertoire. And then Positive Motions Foundation, which is a parent company of Glendale Philharmonic, registered DBA, doing business as. And now it's officially a registered group.
Nice.
Which is attached to 501c3, which is non-profit, tax exempt. By the way, if anyone wants to help us financially and donate money, please feel free. We have wonderful causes in Positive Motions Foundations. Glendale Philharmonic. We have LA Cello Quartet. We have a wonderful project that's in development right now, music for children fighting cancer. This foundation has been in existence for 5 years now, and we just received a grant from LA Arts and Cultural Commission. This is actually a second grant from them. So yeah, more than welcome to join the team. So yeah, that's how LA Cello Quartet appeared. And now it's a form. Then we did a few recordings. Those videos are available on YouTube. Just Google Cello Quartet. Now, once again, the phone number for the phone calls is 323-473-3100. Richard, we have messages coming on Twitter and Facebook saying that people trying to call and they somehow cannot come through. I'm not sure.
Well, let me check it out. Let me test it right now.
Okay. Is there something wrong with our phone?
We might have had some technical difficulty. And I didn't want to receive any calls. That's why they were bouncing back. Because I wanted to take the time to get the interviews out the way. And I know we only have Nathan for a limited period of time. Yeah. So let's say we're going to go to a break in another 8 minutes. Take us to the break, or we'll play some music. And then after the break, we'll open up the phone lines and let them flood on in.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, once again, the phone line will be open in 8 minutes. Our phone number is 323 area code 473-3100, 323-473-3100.
But hold your calls until after 1 p.m. after our break. We're going to take a break. Let Nathan and his wonderful, he brought his girlfriend with him, I think. Right? You're his girlfriend, right? No? Oh, that's his mom?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. No, I'm only kidding. Come on. Anyway.
Look on Nathan's face.
So after the break, please hold your calls. Wanted to get those interviews out the way. Thank you.
Okay, all right, sounds great. Back to conductors.
Yes.
I wanted
Well, before you get that started, the calls are already flooding in. We do have a caller on the line. So let's take the call because they've been patient. What do you say? All right. Caller, welcome to this special presentation of Elena's Beauty Talk and More and the Talk Live Broadcast Network, sponsored by the Glendale Philharmonic. Welcome to the show. What is your name and where are you calling from? And thanks for joining us.
My name is Diane, and I'm calling from Glendale.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I actually have a question for everybody there. I want to know what are they thankful for since tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I would like to know what each of them are thankful for as well. And
Excellent
I'll take my answer offline here.
Excellent question. Who will be first? Nathan, why don't you go first? Let's go that way. What are you thankful for this year that was, quite successful for you, actually?
I'm thankful that I was able to participate in the Tchaikovsky competition and do well and meet a lot of great artists.
That's quite an achievement. Hans?
Well, this is very deep, I've got to say. I'm thankful for a lot of things. I'm thankful for my health and for my parents and for where I'm at artistically. So, on to Michael.
I'm really thankful for all the people I've met this year, and I feel like I've got a lot of really great friends here, and I know a lot of really great musicians, and that's really special for me.
Yeah, I would say I'm thankful for the people that are in my life, both personally and professionally. I think that's no matter how tough life gets, if you have the right people around you, you can go through anything. And I see how other people are going through tough times right now in their lives, and so I'm very thankful that, like Michael said, like I have my health and I have family and friends.
I actually I'm still kind of young, right? I'm 36. But there happened a moment in my life when all of a sudden I realized that I truly enjoy moment of existence. I just like being. I like being alive, good or bad. I'm just thankful for that, for this phenomenal, miraculous opportunity to be in this world, to live life. And sometimes my life is really exciting. Like this year was exceedingly exciting. I mean, I got all these ratings as a pilot. I'm a very high profile qualified pilot instructor now. Plus I did all these concerts. I had my students winning some of the major competitions. I had this incredible trip to Italy that I did a few weeks ago. And there were down moments in my life, so heavy and so difficult, that I honestly I remember sitting on the couch thinking, what should I do next? So I guess everyone has different amplitude, different range. For some people, life goes pretty calm, that moments between happiness and sadness aren't that far from each other, right? In my case, it's always extremes. But what I learned, to continuously be thankful for just being. I love it. I absolutely love being alive. Yep. I got the applause. Yeah. That's a happy moment. All right. Richard, what do you want to do now? Should we play music and then...
let's take a little break. We're going to play some music to play us out and have some wonderful music playing us back from some of the artists and incredible musicians that you brought here today. We'll let them decide who wants to step.
And Nathan will leave us after this break. So thank you very much, Nathan.
Thanks, Nathan.
Incredible job today, young man.
Thank you.
Years ago when I started in radio, there was this young lady who came to the studio. She was very demure, very laid back. She was there with her dad, who was a well-known fashion designer. He was talking about a fashion show he was going to be doing. And this 12-year-old sat in the room, in the broadcast room, not here, another life and time, and was so quiet. It wasn't until probably 10 years later that the co-host of that show said, "Man, you didn't know who that was? That young lady, that 12-year-old?" I'm like, "No, who was that?" He said, "That was Eve, the hip-hop artist."
Wow.
So it never left me, and it never will escape me, that when I meet young people like you, and all of you cats as well, because y'all all are really young. I 30-something years old. Oh, God, to be that again. But you, young man, oh, my God, I'm going to be so proud. I'll be real old and crusty, but I'm going to be so proud to know that I met you at this point in your life. And rousing round of applause to your mother. You've done a fine job with him, I'll tell you. And I'm thankful for you, Ruslan. and you. And all of the broadcasters, all the listeners, all of the people who support this station. That's what I'm thankful for. Take us to the break, Ruslan.
Yes, let's go to the break. We'll listen a little bit of music and then commercial, and we'll be back and we'll be talking about more music and beautiful things in this world.
Thank you for tuning into LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network, original reality radio, handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Starlet Quarles, and I'm inviting you to join us every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. for a new show right here on LA Talk Live, The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People. Join us as we discuss the topics that are relevant to today's generational leaders. So don't forget to tune in to The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi,
this is Dick and Sharon, inviting you to join us every Monday at 3 Pacific for LA Progressive Live.
Join us as we cover the progressive landscape both locally and across the nation.
So don't forget to tune in to LA Progressive Live every Monday at 3 Pacific.
Exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Radio Flag, TuneIn Radio, Live 365, AHA Radio, TiVo Radio, and Apple TV Radio.
Or just watch and listen directly at latalklive.com and LA Progressive Live. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure.
This is LA Talk Live and LA Progressive Live. We are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Elena, inviting you to join me every Wednesday at noon for Elena's Beauty Talk and more, exclusively on LA Talk Live. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream.tv. Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hello world, how you living? This is D. Brex, your host of the all-new rap project here on LA Talk Live. That's latalklive.com, or you can find me on iTunes Radio in the R&B section. That's the rap project every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's Wednesdays at 7 p.m. West Coast time, so don't be late. On the Rap Project, I will be playing the very best of rap and hip-hop that goes beyond the ordinary. So connect with me, your host, D-Brax, the rap connoisseur, on The Rap Project every Wednesday at 7, right here on latalklive.com, where we are more than just talk.
And we are back. That was me playing. The Prokofiev Symphonic Concertante with Olympia Youth Symphony. You know, those kids did remarkable, absolutely phenomenal job a few years ago. And this year we are doing a world premiere of Masa Mitsumoto Cello Concerto No. 2. I feel truly honored because Mr. Mitsumoto is a cellist. So he gave me this opportunity to premiere his piece, the piece that he composed. You know, instead of playing himself, I'll be playing. And we will be doing it with Olympia Youth, and it's on January 11th, which is my birthday.
Wow.
Yep. And the performance will happen at 3 p.m. at San Gabriel Playhouse. It's free admission. So everyone, please.
That's a busy weekend for you. Didn't you say you had something January 10?
Yeah, look, this is a busy life for me. There's something happening every day, literally. I mean, I perform every week, every weekend. Today, after this broadcast, I'm driving to Hawthorne Airport, and I'll actually have 2-hour flight with another student of mine. And then at 6 p.m. I have a cello student. After that, I have Gold's Gym.
Wow.
And after that, 3 hours of updating my websites. And tomorrow, starting in the morning, I have my turkey day. Right. So I have breakfast with the turkey, then I have lunch with the turkey, and I have 2 dinners with the turkey scheduled.
What is the turkey eating during this time? Oh.
So yeah, but those kids, with Prokofiev's, this symphonic concerto is one of the busiest score ever. Mm-hmm. It's not easy to conduct. In fact, I was scheduled to play with Kansas Symphony this piece, immediately after playing with Vancouver, with Olympia, and Kansas City Symphony changed the piece. 2 weeks before the concert, they tried rehearsing and something didn't work out, and we did Shostakovich first as a result. It's not performed much because
it's difficult for everybody.
It's not just for the cellist. Cellist part is very, very demanding. It's a big piece. Though, when people say, this is the most difficult concerto ever, I disagree with that. I actually find it very comfortably written. It's big, yes. But if you really know how to do all these things, it's really not that difficult. Shostakovich's second concerto, on the other hand, is really complicated. But I'm afraid we are swinging into such a sophisticated area that our listeners might not particularly enjoy this conversation. That's what happens when you get so many cellists in one room and the conductor.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, what I wanted to talk, Dean, about is actually the youth orchestra that was just started and that you conducted on November 9th.
Yes, actually, in November 9th at the Glendale City Church, I actually took my university orchestra, La Sierra University Orchestra, to perform at a fundraising benefit for the Sejura Youth Orchestra, which is being founded and supported by the Glendale City Church and the City of Glendale and Harmony project, I believe.
Yeah.
It's similar to reaching the underserved community youth and getting them involved in music early. They were raising money to acquire instruments for these young musicians, and of course to fund the educational staff. It was a really good cause. I love to support anything that gets young people playing music early.
And
really
good quality music, the most important part of it, I think actually many parents are somewhat puzzled or intimidated with the idea of classical music. Many of them say, we know nothing about it, we don't know how to deal with it. B, they think that it's so expensive, that it's overwhelming, and that's why often these kids, instead of being directed into path of art and creativity, would be channeled into sports or now what I wanted to say, it's really not as expensive as it seems.
Right.
It's really, in fact, very often you can get your children to study music for free. For instance, Harmony Project, right? They provide pretty much, I think those are free lessons that they do.
I believe so. Yeah, they get they're subsidized, their teachers and their directors too, so that the cost doesn't come from the students. The students can just focus on learning.
And what I wanted also to say, addressing to parents, try to expose your kids to this beautiful, truly beautiful environment that was tested by centuries. I dare to say that if Osama bin Laden, for instance, would be given a cello when he was 5 or 6 years of age and offered to play Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, Schubert, Schumann, Prokofiev, Shostakovich, we would probably know a very different Osama bin Laden. Because after all, he was a pretty creative guy. The problem was that his creativity was channeled in a path of destruction.
Interesting.
Well, Hitler actually applied for art school.
Don't ruin.
and he was rejected.
Here we go. That's why. That's why. We need projects that don't reject. Right. I think in Los Angeles, particularly right now, in the United States, but in LA, there are a number of projects that don't reject kids at all. In fact, trying to drag kids into this nice, creative, truly creative environment, giving them instruments, offering concerts, lessons, additional education.
I also really feel strongly that early on that young musicians need to experience music in a social manner.
Correct.
Not just, so they're taking private lessons. They need to be part of groups and ensembles at an early age with kids their age, because then that's part of their environment. They start seeing that, this is normal. This is part of my world, making music. If they're isolated, the chances of them, abandoning it after a little while is much higher, I think.
Correct. Yeah. That's why I personally love playing with youth orchestras. Not that many professional musicians, they sometimes feel... I played with Glendale High School Orchestra, for instance, and we did Beethoven Triple Concerto, which is quite a complicated piece, and it went just fine. Those kids that don't even have private lessons, the kids are just simply exposed in this, orchestral environment in the school, can if they're inspired enough, they do miracles at times. I wish we would have more orchestras in our high schools, or just youth orchestras available to the general public. I wish, frankly, as an executive director of an orchestra, I wish government of our city, of our state, would provide a little bit more funding for these kind of things, because they pretty much cut it a few years ago.
Right. Well, it's the first thing they feel like cutting, and I think that's where the issue lies. Is that really, is art the last thing on that's important in education?
And for this, we are not thankful to them. On this Thanksgiving
list of things we're not thankful for.
Yeah. But you know what I think? Actually, the world, particularly in the developed countries, becomes more and more intellectual. And the future and success of this country will entirely depend on the individuals that would be capable of creative thinking. And if we don't develop in our kids these creative abilities, this country will collapse. Don't you think?
No, I don't think it will collapse, but people like you will keep coming to this country, and you'll become more necessary.
Cannot argue with that. Well, yeah, I guess so. Well, I really hope that, we will have a little bit more appreciation of the government, of our efforts. And by the way, speaking of USC, I know that scholarship funds were redistributed or were considerably cut. When I was a student there, I personally had full scholarship there. And it wasn't because I was Russian. I dare to say it because I probably played cello quite okay. And I know that the number of students was decreased, and it wasn't because there was not willingness of the students, but because the school just decided that we were manufacturing too many flutists or too many, oboists. And the idea behind it is that how many jobs out there for the, musicians. But I strongly believe that more musicians will be out there, more jobs we will have. Because musicians, more people in this market will have, more development of the market will witness.
Well, this is really the time in history to start things, I think. I mean, there are orchestras closing all over the country, and I think, especially in LA, where there are a lot of people who are passionate about it, and there's a lot of money and there's a lot of potential. I think this is a really great place to be right now, actually.
Probably I can tell, however, in the entire world, we are talking about European countries, Russia, etc., orchestras, more or less considerable artistic projects, would have certain government input in terms of support. And in the United States, that's unfortunately not the case at all. I mean, there is a little bit, I can see now within 15, 20 years of me being here, I can see that there is a tendency to provide element of support, but no.
Well, I've been thinking a lot about that problem, and in those other countries, you have people that are in control at the top administration that actually say this is a good thing for our citizens and the arts, and they give that weight to it. And America's culture is really, since we're a capitalist country, it's really more like, well, let's put it out there and see how it does. If the public demands it, then it should be able to support itself. And what that means is, it's always that commercial aspect to it. And I think the challenge for us in the classical music field is to keep finding creative ways to make it relevant and desirable and accessible to the youth, the next generation, so that they want this. And I see that in young kids that, not only do they have to be ultra talented, but they're also interested in this. But it's because now we're starting to get out there, to take the music to where they are, and not just, keep putting up, advertisements saying, come see us, come see us. We're actually going to them.
So what do you think? Do you think that the art, like fine art, the art that, truly sophisticated, should it be commercialized? Or shall we, or should we be firm with this position of many artists when say we shouldn't care, we shouldn't cater the general audience, we should maintain our level of, because pop art largely caters to the general audience. It's essentially a study, when they, study the
Popular
market.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or pop art in general,
Yeah.
It caters the demands of certain. This is a major dilemma. I can tell that I feel somewhat proud with Glendale Phil because we formed an orchestra 5 years ago. This is our 5th anniversary season. And within these 5 years, just in Glendale, Glendale Symphony that had 80-year history, profound history, very successful history, folded. Then there was an orchestra formed called Renaissance Symphony, folded as well. Then Glendale Pops Orchestra was formed, which folded a few weeks ago. And we somehow managed to survive. That actually made me feel quite proud. And I do feel that since we, with our little efforts, because our efforts weren't excessive by any means, and we don't have that magnitude of the funding that other companies actually had, we entirely exist on the box office. And we managed to survive. I feel that there is probably need for us. That makes me feel quite good.
Well, what do you think that you did that was different than some of these other organizations?
We were actually, believe it or not, we were not catering the audience. We were actually putting out the very first program that we did was entirely designed by the musicians and the orchestra that got together and said we want to do an orchestra, and it was largely sort of a compromise between the conductor and the musicians, because musicians honestly wanted to play something new. That's why we had this strange, almost bizarre program. We had this symphony by Mirzayan, an Armenian composer who almost unknown here. We had this world premiere of double cello concerto that was composed specifically for that particular event. Nobody heard neither about that composer nor that piece, and we had sold out concert with that, which was the most surprising. I at that moment, it's a historic fact. I announced that I was ready to announce bankruptcy, and all of a sudden we had a sold out performance. So I don't know. It's sort of a mystery, largely a mystery for me still. Maybe that was the reason. But nonetheless, we outlived everyone so far in that area.
I also remember you mentioning that you align yourself with the interests of your community, and you've done a lot of outreach. So although you're not pandering and to commercialism, but you are challenging your audiences, but you are finding something that they can relate to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't come to the concert.
What we do actually, we run a study during the concert. Every person who walks into the hall gets this piece of paper with the program, and they get to grade every piece. And then there is 5 questions, which says questions, comments, complaints, requests, etc. So people actually enjoy, leaving their thoughts. It's very interesting to read that stuff, and we have few hundreds of those responses after each concert. It's very interesting. But our programming has never been adopted to the requests that people put in their, in this little questionnaire. We would study it, yes, but we would never, say that, okay, 500 people demanded Appalachian Spring by, Copland, so we're going to put it on our holiday concert. It wasn't
without conductor.
The conductor.
Hey, gents, can I jump in real quick?
Yep.
One of the greatest joys of my work here on this noble network is that I get to learn so much. I got to be the most knowledgeable guy alive because I sit on all these different shows and I learn so many different things. Now, so I said to myself, I wonder what the word Philharmonic means. Nobody answered just yet. And I said, well, I'm not going to be stupid enough to ask this esteemed panel of incredible musicians because they're going to think I'm stupid that I don't know what the word means. So I looked it up online, and I don't mind being stupid because this is how I learn. Comes from Philharmonique, French. There are lots of different, iterations of it. But I wanted to break it down, Philharmonic. Now, I know what harmonic means, kind of, right? But the Phil part, where'd that come from? I'm going to put that out to anybody.
Filling in the space.
There you go, filling in the gaps.
You know what? Let me look it up real quick.
From the Greek word philos, meaning beloved or loving. So Philharmonic. There's lots of people who are tuned in right now, and God bless you, Elena, for allowing these incredible musicians and these gentlemen to preempt your slot today to celebrate the Glendale Philharmonic and classical music, as you've been a great patron, Ruslan, of her show. But there are lots of us out here who really appreciate the music, but helping us understand the context and the definitions draws us even closer. I can at least speak for myself.
Absolutely.
So there are a lot of novices and dummies out there like me. And I want to say this because we'd love to see you all come back, and maybe in the waning moments that we have left of the show, maybe you can further elaborate or discuss connecting the words and the terminology, the vernacular of your industry to the common person, so that we can really, really get more connected with the music. I just thought that was an important thing to talk about.
Actually, it is really interesting. Philophile, something that we're in love with or obsessed with. Mm-hmm. You can call ourselves harmonophiles.
Okay.
Philharmonics.
Sounds a little nasty.
Doesn't sound as good.
Sounds a little.
I'm a harmonophile.
I've got some turkey I got to eat tomorrow. Please. Didn't want you to go there with it, but
I like what you're saying about speaking more generally, because we use a lot of jargon, in our industry, and we should always find a way to. I don't want to say dumb it down, because I don't think there are dumb people out there.
It's not a matter of dumbing it down. I can speak for myself,
Right. Yeah. I think it's just a matter of just finding a way to speak in a relatable sense. And I think for us as musicians, like in the future, if we were ever to come back and talk more a little bit about what it is, what I'd like to leave with a point is encouraging people and our listeners to consider the live aspect of music. And no matter what kind of music, because we get so often, we're downloading, we see on YouTube, and we get used to, in fact, probably 90% of the time, our whole experience is listening, recorded media, which is important. But I think people forget how important it is to be in the moment with a performer. Imagine if, you feel the energy from them, you hear the frequencies directly from the instrument to your ear, no matter what kind of instrument it is. I think if you get people out more or finding ways to listen to music live, I think that would enhance their whole experience. And from that, they can come up with more questions. Why do I like this? Why don't I like this? And that's something we could talk about.
I think also like the way that you present a piece can make a really big difference. I played this piece by Elliott Carter called Figment. It's a pretty short piece, but it's really gnarly. And I played it for an audience that really is not used to contemporary music, and it was kind of a last minute thing, but before I went on stage, a guy gave some program notes about this piece. Basically said Elliott Carter was like kind of the musical equivalent of Spock, and I could see the entire audience, just their ears just completely turned off, and all of their interest went away. So before I played, I said, look, I know that Elliott Carter was a very intellectual composer, but I think this piece is just full of passion and life, and that's why I'm playing it. And then I played it, and I also played another piece by Du Tieu, which I thought was a lot more accessible. And I have to say, they just loved the Carter. They preferred the Carter. So to the Du Tieu, I was so surprised.
I got to tell you how surprised I am to hear a classic musician use the word gnarly. First and foremost,
skateboarder.
Wow, that's amazing. We have a caller. From the 818 caller, thank you for joining the show today, the special presentation sponsored by the Glendale Philharmonic. What is your name and where are you calling from? We know you're there. We see you. Okay, we're going to put your picture up on the screen. Never mind. All right, so moving on to caller.
Okay, probably dropped. Yeah.
But that's pretty interesting. Yeah. Again, you guys are so young. You look so young. This guy here, he's like a cowboy or John Wayne or somebody. I don't know. He's got this incredible voice. And all this stuff going on, and here you are, a cellist. That's amazing. I'll leave off with that comment. I'll let you guys wrap it out. I wanted to see if we can get you plugged in, because I know we didn't feature any of your music just yet. Is that correct?
Yeah, but
you good? Okay, that's no problem. Maybe next time.
I'm good. Yeah,
so, that's fine. That's fine. All right. So
what I wanted to say, to the listeners, whomever listens us, come to the concerts of classical music. Classical does not mean boring. I keep repeating it. Classical is from word class. It's classy. You want to have a little bit of the classy experience, which is actually remarkably affordable nowadays. Half of the concerts in Los Angeles, in the United States, are happening for free. It's free, and those are high-profile concerts. The only thing what's required, go on Google
Yeah.
And just Google it. Google classical concerts in the area. You'll find hundreds, thousands of those. Go to universities. Each university has a few concert series running, And I can assure you and I guarantee you it will not be boring by any means. Yep.
I'd just like to make a real quick plug for my orchestra for any of our Orange County listeners. The Symphony Irvine. You can look us up at symphonyirvine.com. We have concerts coming up. And also the Dana Point Symphony will be starting its 4th season very soon, and these are in location in Orange County and very affordable concerts to come to.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Could I make a plug myself? This is the Kaleidoscope Chamber Orchestra. It's going to be on our next concerts are February 6th and 8th in Pasadena and Santa Monica, respectively, and it's a conductorless chamber orchestra. You can look it up at kco.la, and that's where you can get some tickets.
Wonderful. Do you want to plug yourself with the late cello quartet?
Lots of plugs here. Amplify.
Yes, we are.
All right, guys. So it was great fun being here. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Elena, if you're listening for us, thanks so much for this wonderful opportunity. We actually missed you. Yay.
Yeah.
And stay cool, stay warm, eat a lot of turkey tomorrow. And hopefully we'll see and talk soon.
Well, Ruslan, I just want to say before you go, you've done a very fine job today. I got to say, man. So thank you.
Thanks. That was my host show debut, kind of.
Yeah, because we've got some wonderful things coming up with you.
Yeah.
And the great conductor Frank Fetta.
Yep.
More opportunities for great composers, cellists, musicians from your world to come in, talk about themselves, promote what they're doing, their music. We're going to be opening up a 2-hour daily show of playing nothing but classical music. So we're looking forward to that in 2015, and I hope to see you gentlemen back here again. But good work today, man. You earned your bones.
Thank you. Yay.
Hey, Paulie, you busted his cherry today. Yeah, nice work there, kid. You broke your cherry. Very nice work. So take us out. Well, don't you, Ruslan?
All right. Thank you, guys. So that's it pretty much, right? We'll talk in a few weeks. Come back.
Thanks again, Ruslan. You've been listening to a special presentation here at LA Talk Live, presented by Elena's Beauty Talk and more. Thank you, Elena, for the time, and also sponsored by the Glendale Philharmonic. We'll see you soon.
In the meantime, Peter, behind the gate, had been watching the whole thing, thinking, this is awesome. He ran home, took a strong rope, and climbed up the high stone wall. One of the branches of the tree around which the wolf was walking stretched over the wall. Grabbing hold of the branch, Peter lightly climbed over onto the tree. Peter said to the bird, fly down and circle around the wolf's head. Only take care that he doesn't catch you. The bird said, wait, say that again? You saw what happened to the duck. And Peter said, I just saved your life 40 measures ago. You know, and the Bert said, okay, but after this, we're square. The bird almost touched the wolf's head with her wings as the wolf snapped at her from this side and that in a combination of rage and hunger, kind of like the first time you try to eat lobster. How the bird did worry the wolf. How he wanted to catch her. But the bird was cleverer, and the wolf simply couldn't do anything about it. Meanwhile, Peter made a lasso and carefully letting it down, caught the wolf by the tail and yanked up with all his might. Feeling himself caught, the wolf began to jump wildly, trying to get loose. But Peter tied the other end of the rope to the tree. And the wolf, jumping, only made the rope around his tail tighter. Just then, some hunters came out of the woods. Following the wolves trail and shooting as they went.
Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk. Stay tuned.